What is up, y'all? Welcome on back to another review, Warfare. It is a movie that I have been anxiously awaiting for a very long time to see. I didn't get a chance to go see it in theaters, but I've been waiting for it to come out on I didn't have a chance to go see it in theaters, but I've been waiting for it to come out on a streaming service so I could finally check it out. And it is finally out on HBO Max, so go check it out if you have any desire of seeing this movie. But I will be talking non-spoiler thoughts about Warfare because I think this is a movie that is going to be completely different from any of the other movies that I have reviewed this year. And while I think that this movie will end up in my top 10 when it's all said and done, this is a weird movie to review. And let's just get it out of the way. This is a great movie. I really do love what this movie has to offer. This is a completely different war movie that you don't see very often. And what I mean by that is the fact that you have certain war movies, it's all about politicizing the war. It's all about romanticizing the war. It's all about hoorah. And let me tell you, I am all for those types of movies, okay? I am a huge supporter of the military. Shout out and thank you to all of our service members out there. So I'm all for those types of movies. But this one does feel a little bit different. And I do think that some of the reviews out there are a little bit ingenuine when it comes to what this movie is. A lot of the reviews had this as an anti-war film, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And while I do think there's some of that woven here, I wouldn't necessarily call it an anti-war film. I would consider this just to be a war film that just showcases the horrors of war. And I think that is the biggest message that comes from this movie. The gunfights here, they're not fights in the sense that you're seeing the enemy get killed. You're not seeing some overly grotesque gore, anything like that. That was what surprised me the most from this movie. It's a lot of just showing you in the heat of battle, in the moment, what these characters, what these brave young men and women go through in real life. And I think this one taps into that more so than a majority of the war films that I've seen. This doesn't feel overly Hollywoodified. And what I mean by that is you don't have these Hollywood moments where it's trying to sell you a ticket. It doesn't have these overly exaggerated moments in the movie. There's not a moment in this movie where you kind of stop and just say to yourself, that definitely did not happen in real life. That was fake. That was just them trying to insert a big spectacle into this movie. And that's not the case with Warfare. I think a lot of this, from what I understand, the story behind this movie is you have two characters in a movie that are named Elliot Miller, and then you have Ray Mendoza. Elliot ends up not remembering the entire incident. So over the years, he's been asking everybody that's been there, what exactly happened? He's been trying to piece it all together. Ray Mendoza, who was there during this battle, decided to make a movie for his friend Elliot to kind of show him everything that happened. So all this is from memory. So basically, Ray got this movie made to help his friend Elliot, who was there. So all of this happened in the real world per the memories of the people that were actually there. So that's one of the things that makes this movie more unique than all the other movies. It just feels real. And this is not a movie that you're going to want to go see multiple times. This is not one of those movies. This is a movie that you see it once, you're like, damn, that was really great. And then maybe a year or two later, you check it out again. This is not a fun movie by any means. But don't let that take away from the fact that this movie is, technically speaking, a phenomenally well-made film. And while there's not any real character development throughout this movie, this is one of those rare movies that doesn't need the character development. We are here to experience what these soldiers went through on a particular mission, and that's the gist of it. We are experiencing in real time what happened to these soldiers. There is one thing about this movie that I didn't really pick up on it until probably about halfway through the movie. And that is the fact that there is no score for this movie. There's no music other than legitimately the first, 2 minutes of the movie, that is the only time that you get music throughout this movie. There is no score. It is pure sound design, which leads me to one of my final points for why you should watch this movie. The sound design is absolutely impeccable. The sound design for this movie is one of the best that I've heard in recent memory. For an hour and a half, it seems like you are listening to nothing but gunfire, and it does not let up. It is unrelenting, and I think they do a good job of really putting you in the world of these soldiers, and that's what they're dealing with throughout this mission, is that constant gunfire. And then you have these screams of all the soldiers, and it's uncomfortable. The movie has an unsettling feeling to you, mostly because you realize that this is fucking real. Like there's no them playing this up. This is legit. So the sound design is absolutely incredible. And then you get to the action. The action sequences are really great. But again, this is not a movie that you would go to for over the top action set pieces. There are numerous war movies out there that you can go to for that. This is more for the realism, more of the experience of what it would potentially look like and feel like if you were in the heat of battle with these soldiers. So there's not this huge amount of gore or killings. A lot of the movie is just them standing there and them dealing with the ramifications of everything that's going on. And to me, it just feels way more impactful than your normal war movie. But yeah, guys, overall, really love this movie. Is this going to end up in my top 10 at the end of the year? I think so. I think this is a movie that is worth watching. This is not one of those movies that you're going to watch on a consistent basis. To say that I overly enjoyed the movie, that I want to rewatch it immediately, it's not one of those movies. But you should 100% go check it out on HBO Max right now. Walk, Don't Run. This is a fantastic movie. But guys, if you have seen Warfare, let me know down in the comments below of how you felt about it. Would you recommend it to people out there? It's a weird movie to recommend. I completely understand. It's not one of those movies that, oh man, you're gonna have the best time watching this. No, but it's still a great movie regardless. So leave me a comment down below of what you thought about it. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps us out with the channel, and it would be greatly appreciated if you did that. But guys, that's going to be it for me. I'll catch y'all next time on another one. Laters.